Hey nerds, I am going to do a spoiler-free review of Dracula, which was released in theaters on Friday, February 6th in North America. Does this movie live up to the original Bram Stoker novel? We'll find out starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I am Colin. Before we get into it, chapter times are below if you want to skip ahead, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, please visit our website, thenerdsocial.org, where you can find more analysis and commentary from our contributors. So, movie versions of Dracula has been done endlessly. I remember at least two of these versions from 1992 with Gary Oldman as Dracula, plus Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves are in it. Then there was the 2004 version, Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale, where Hugh Jackman plays Van Helsing. He's the one that tries to go out and kill Dracula. Also, The Simpsons parodied Mr. Burns' Dracula with his castle in Pennsylvania. So I guess they had to do it for a new generation, and it's stylized as a romantic tale with actors that are not exactly household names, except for Christoph Waltz. For those that do not know, the story of Dracula is based on a 1897 novel by Bram Stoker and is based in Transylvania and England, while this movie is based in Paris and Romania. The movie curiously doesn't mention Transylvania at all. This version of Dracula is written by Luc Besson and Bram Stoker, which is weird to have him in the writing credits, and it's directed by Luc Besson. This version of Dracula is definitely much more French-oriented because it's a French film. Luc Besson is a well-known director of movies like The Fifth Element of Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, Leon the Professional with Jean Reno and a young Natalie Portman, and also La Femme Nikita. So you get to see the style in which Luc Besson is going to be. It's odd humor and then sprinkled with fantastical action. The cast consists of CalebLandryJones as Count Dracula, ChristophWaltz as the priest, who plays almost like the Van Helsing character in the original novel, Zoe Bleu as Elisabeta and Mina, Ami de Tonquedec as Dumont, and Matilda de Angelis as Maria. The spoiler-free logline of this movie is when a 15th century prince denounces God after the loss of his wife, he inherits an eternal curse. He becomes Dracula. Condemned to wander the centuries, he defies fate and death, guided by a single hope to be reunited with his lost love. So my spoiler-free thoughts on this movie is CalebLandryJones does have some charm portraying Dracula. I see him as a mixed knockoff Johnny Depp and also Eddie from Stranger Things. If he looked more grotesque in the movie, he would be considered a creep, lusting over his lost love. But I guess looks goes a long way. Would the woman he's chasing fall for him that easily? If he wasn't so good looking, gentlemanly, and charming, you never know. Christoph Waltz just does the typical matter of fact with a touch of humor Christoph Waltz things in other movies that he did, like Inglourious Basterds and Django Unchained. It's like a extension of that type of role. It's always a joy to watch his performances because I think it's just such exquisite and exceptional art that he puts into his characters. I felt very amused that he was in the movie. The ending did feel rushed, but the backstory that Dracula was telling to one of his victims was very well done in the movie and told from his perspective, which gives that anti-hero feel to the whole movie, that he's not just some evil person. There's some nuance to it, which is not too bad. There was a scene in the movie that reminded me of the Axe body spray commercials from the early 2000s. When you see it, it was a bit over the top, but Danny Elfman's music really saved it from being a laugh out loud joke. I think that Danny Elfman puts on his charm into all those musical pieces. A lot of the Johnny Depp movies, Tim Burton movies, you definitely get to feel that sense of the music that's in a story. I think the last thought that I have is I just wonder why God would keep Dracula alive all those years and not let him die to be his love. Was Dracula figuratively putting his middle finger up to God too much for God to just forgive and forget him? Dracula had to suffer being alive, and he made others suffer by turning them into vampires. Is that all in God's plan? I don't really know. It's just something that just seems weird to me, but maybe I just need to know a little bit more about religion in order to fully understand the whole meaning of why he was kept alive. In terms of rating, I would give this version of Dracula a 7 out of 10, which is a dinner party. It's an average okay movie. I think it's something to pass the time if you're into some romance and flair similar to what Bridget offers on Netflix. Definitely the movie felt like a romance novel, talking about lost love and forever suffering, mourning the loss of that love. That's the stuff that women tend to love to see, like my wife does, and read about on a stormy night by the fireplace. So those are my spoiler-free thoughts on Dracula. Go watch the movie. I think it's still an enjoyable ride. If you have a significant other, bring them along. I think they'll enjoy the romance of the whole thing. Come back and tell us what you think of the movie after you see it by commenting down below. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And we will see you next video. All right. Take care, everybody.